You go right, I'll go left. Sometimes we don't agree. Well, that's okay, cause in the end we're still brothers, you and me. We'll go to Steak and Shake sometimes, cause we hang out every night and we do the same old thing. Sometimes we fool around too much, cause we are a frisky bunch. We get in trouble every day. Hey, 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 ho, straight through the heart, I'm for you. And I know you're there for making me a high five. Hey, ho, friends till the end, can't you see? That's the way it's gotta be. You're the money and the bomb, but I talk about your mom, even though it isn't right. Go to Mikey's, play some games, stay until the break of day, maybe get into a fight. Hey, 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 oh, straight through the heart, I'm for you, and I know you're there for making me a high five. Hey, oh, friends till the end, can't you see? That's the way it's gotta be. Even though we're hitting 20, and we haven't yet matured, you know, I think it's kind of funny that we're all a bunch of nerds. Go! I love you. I always have. Even though we're hitting 20, and we haven't yet matured, you know, I think it's kind of funny that we're all a bunch of nerds. Hey, oh, straight through the heart, I'm for you, and I know you're there for making me a high five. Hey, oh, friends till the end, can't you see? That's the way it's gotta be. Here we go. Hey, oh, straight through the heart, I'm for you, and I know you're there for making me a high five. Hey, oh, friends till the end, can't you see? That's the way it's gotta be. Hey, oh, straight through the heart, I'm for you, and I know you're there for making me a high five. Hey, oh, friends till the end, can't you see? That's the way it's gotta be. Again, hey, oh, straight through the heart, I'm for you, and I know you're there for making me a high five. Hey, oh, friends till the end, can't you see? That's the way it's gotta be. Can't you see? That's the way it's gotta be. Can't you see? God has destined us to You've done good this time. You've done real good. Get him out.
The greatest single cause of atheism in the world today is Christians.
Say what we say when we say it again, then you can go home to your toys. All right, I'll say it. I'll say it again. Now can I go home to my toys?
Let me get this straight. You don't believe in God because of Alice in Wonderland?
And you will know my name is the Lord, where I lay my fingers upon. Kick up the bass, come, kick up the bass,
Irreverent. The N.FM, I am DJ Swain. This is Irreverent. Thank you for being a part of the program. Thank you for hanging out. This one, a very special one. A very special Irreverent, because it's an Irreverent Quickie. I don't do these a lot, mainly because, you know, you got to take the time to do these shows. You got to take the time to do Irreverent. And to be irreverent, it takes time. It takes effort. And for that, I normally take my time and do regular Irreverent episodes. But in this particular one, we kind of rushed it. It's a quickie, because sometimes it's just better that way. There wasn't a lot of information for me in regards to the scandal that we're going to be talking about. I skimmed it. It was basically your typical pastoral scandal that has erupted. This one with the late Ravi Zacharias. So wanted to chat about that, and I wanted to do it live because I wanted to also test some things. So you people are my guinea pigs. Thank you for that. Unless you're listening to it on the podcast, in which case you just got the notification and you got this for free. So hey, that's what you get. Thank you for being a part of the program. Whether you are a new listener, an old listener, I just started doing over the last month, started adding stuff to YouTube, and I've already been called an idiot once. So that's kind of cool. If you want to follow me at DJ Zwain on YouTube as well. I also throw the stuff on Twitch. I'm doing some streaming on Twitch there. So all of that. And because of that, I decided to do this particular episode. So I wasn't going to do the Irreverent episode because, we have... there wasn't really too much information that I had as far as the church news, any news regarding faith, and that's really when I break this show open. That's really when I start doing this show, is when there's some sort of scandal. And then this morning, I was perusing through the YouTubes, and it turns out that Ravi Zacharias had a sex scandal that started, I guess, a while back, but they just finished an investigation. So I've also been out of the loop regarding the goings on in Christian culture and organizations the last few years. So Irreverent has turned into more of like an introspective show when it comes to faith and just asking questions and attempting to start conversations. So the last episode we did was Drunk Bible Stories with my buddy Al, the historian, Al Sterling. We talked about Matthew 5 and how Jesus is tired of your shit. So before I continue this episode, I want it to be known that I've always called these Impromptu Irreverent episodes quickies. And so it has nothing to do with the topic at hand. So I know that there are some listeners that are a little colorful with their commenting. So completely separate. But anyway, this episode came about because of the new information that was released about the allegations about the late apologist, Mr. Ravi Zacharias, somebody that I was actually a big fan of. He owned some day spas where in the area that he lived in, and he used his power as the owner of the place to do things like say and do inappropriate things to the ladies running the place, including some pretty strong sexual allegations, sexual misconduct allegations. So there are more details about this that I suggest that you look up. Ravi Zacharias died in May of last year after battling cancer for a short time. And for decades, I was a huge fan of Ravi Zacharias. For decades, for 2 decades, because I'm almost 40. But no, since I've been a Christian, I became a Christian at 18, so about 20 years, about 2 decades, and for about 3 to 4 decades, he's been one of the most prolific Christian speakers anywhere in Christian culture. So I talk a little bit about this on the hijack, the idea of this is on the episode coming out next Friday, the idea of blind loyalty. Because if you would have asked me this 10 years ago, if you would have told me that Ravi Zacharias, did this 10 years ago, it would have hit me way differently. It would have hit me totally differently. My old church buddy, Paris Baker, wrote an article for a Medium about this. And I can only imagine how people like Paris are feeling. Because these are people that are still true believers of the faith when my faith is, my Christianity, my relationship with Christianity is tumultuous. Christians have this high horse that they like to climb on, and it's very similar to the ones that you see on the far left. So it happens on the far right too. So don't think that in the religious right specifically. So that it's not a one-side thing. And the people who I like to call cult Christians are the ones that will go forward with whatever narrative the dude with the suit in the pulpit says. No matter what the question, no matter what the statement, no asking questions. And I think almost every Christian falls into this description in some form or fashion. At some point, I was that way. Maybe not the guy, the suit, but maybe it's, I don't know, Edie from Head Noise, or any of the other bands that I used to listen to growing up that were evangelical or that were Christian in nature, like Calibretto 13, who you just heard, one of my favorite bands. I just found out that Calibretto 13 obviously disbanded, but the lead singer, Joe, started a new band called Harvey Poe. And it's a horror punk, very similar to Calibretto in the sense musically, but the lyrics are, about horror movies and dismembering. It's really great. It's great stuff. So if you haven't checked it out, Harley Poe, Joe, I forget his last name, Whitford from Calibretto 13. That's his new band. He's no longer, I don't believe he's a Christian. I don't want to speak for him, but it doesn't sound like he is. But yeah, anyway, but I digress. Maybe I wasn't the guy listening to the dude in the 3-piece suit. Maybe I was listening to the chick with the mohawk and the microphone. But almost every Christian falls into this category in some form or fashion. When scandals like this happen, when Ravi Zacharias, people like Ravi Zacharias do what he did, and then you add the layer of the fact that he's croaked for, almost a year. He croaked almost a year ago. It makes it really rough for the people that were fans of his, because. And for his family. I mean, his family who's mourning somebody that they love dearly, but that has a really dark side regarding abuse of power and sexual misconduct. And he's not the first, and he won't be the last leader to be caught doing awful things. He won't be. That's just not. That is when it comes to that culture, I guess you could call it. That's something that is deep embedded in Christian culture. It is so common. It is such a common. The sex scandal with the minister is such a common thing. I mean, there have been comedy skits about it. There have been all kinds of stuff just depicting that. It's like the. Let's just say it is commonly known that ministers and other people, especially religious people, use their position of power sometimes to take advantage of people and do what they want with it. And like I said, he's not the first one, he's not the last one, but now things come to mind like his ministry that was very successful, is very successful. But it's called the Ravi Zacharias International Ministry. They're going to have to change the name. They're going to have to change the name, and they're going to have to give credit, and they're going to have to give credit to someone else or something else. But it's actually, speaking of credit, I want to give credit where credit's due. The bravery of the women that came out and talked about this scumbag should not be underrated. And also, I got to give credit to the Ravi Zacharias International Ministry. They hired a private law firm, and the law firm that they hired came out with these results. The people who least had the incentive to lie was the ministry and the law firm, and they didn't. There's some sort of joke in there between ministry, law firms, and lying being a common thing. You figure it out. I didn't have time. It's an irreverent quickie. I can't be doing all the work for you, okay? But these are the people with the least incentive to lie. And they didn't. So that gives me a little bit of hope about the status of RZIM, Ravi Zacharias International Ministry. But, the guy's also dead. So what are you going to do? I haven't looked into what his family was saying or anything like that, but they volunteered the information, and I'm guessing that they're now looking at how to move forward. How are they going to move forward from this? How to move forward Now that they know that the leader of the ministry was a scumbag for at least a decade, because that's how long he owned these spas. And I know it's not fashionable to speak of the dead, to speak ill of the dead, but I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about the women that were abused, that had to deal with this shit. I'm worried about the people who hung over, who hung on everything that Ravi said. I call him Ravi like he owes me $12. I'm worried, or I'm not worried. I'm because I'm sure they'll figure it out. I feel bad for the people who now have to do the minister shuffle and figure out a way to separate the message from the messenger, to separate the art from the artist, like we talked about on the hijack. This wasn't supposed to be a full show. This is not supposed to be a full show. And I'm giving you the basics of the Ravi Zacharias story, so I suggest you do look it up. And check out my buddy Paris's article at medium.com. Again, it was a quickie. I didn't have the link. But this is the reason that I said a few weeks ago. If you come at me with the Jesus fish, the ichthus, or you come at me, keep reminding me that you're a Christian, I am not going to trust you. Anybody who uses Christianity as their personality has something to hide. Maybe it's not this scummy, maybe it's not something this bad like Ravi did, but it's definitely there. So to those of you using Christian faith as your personality, I see you. I don't trust you. I'm going to come back with another full episode of Irreverent. I'll be back, I don't know, probably in a couple of weeks. Got to get over this hangover. Al and I drank a lot for Drunk Bible History. It was crazy. But until then, well, actually, you know what? Friday, I have author Abed Erekat joining me on the hijack to talk about his book and his story of overcoming war-torn countries to achieve his dreams. He's got a great story. You don't want to miss it. That's coming up this Friday. Last Friday, I had comedian Shane Smith. He made his mark in dry bar comedy, and then just a great comedian. We had a great conversation about motorcycle gangs and hardcore music and being straight edge and rollerblading, all kinds of stuff. Just go check it out. He loves Florida people, and he loves Florida. So we're gonna hang out when he comes back. But until then, follow me on all social media at DJZOUAIN, and that's DJZOUAIN on all social media. Right up there. Look at that. Right there. See you later. Bye.
What is this I see? Can we not get along? Discord in the body shows me something is wrong. Difference of opinion brings about your hate. The way that we view life makes you so irate. Why can't you see? There's no unity. No way you hate me just because we don't agree. That's a hate in the name of Christ. It's all touch back just we don't play nice. I'm sure the phone is proud of the way you treat your brother. It's sad to say the Christian way is beating up each other. Not everything is black and white. What makes me wrong? What makes you right?